Billy, welcome back to Triple J, first of all. Picture a world where you and Phineas are told, listen, you got a contractual obligation to make a record. No one's going to hear it, just the inner sanctum. But you,
Mhm,
you can make whatever you want, just, you've said that essentially that is this record with a couple of exceptions.
mhm.
What kind of freedom comes with that approach or that method of thinking?
I think that it's just it allows you to feel, more free to just do what naturally comes to you instead of what you think is going to be received well or, be successful or have, be a number one or whatever. And I think that and we didn't even go into it trying to do this. We just kind of honestly, we were so uninspired for so long that
Mm.
like when we started working, it was kind of like we got to start somewhere. So we have to just give up on the idea that like it's ever going to be perfect. And I remember just being like, I don't know what people want me to make and I don't know what I'm going to make and I don't know, like I just was very in my head about it. And I remember talking to somebody and my dog's about to come in, he's going to be loud, just so you know. But I remember talking to somebody about it and being like, I don't know, I just don't know what people I don't know what people are going to think and like what people want me to make. And I remember them being like, Billy, just make like what you want to make. Like, don't worry about what they want to make. And that's like that's such a classic thing, people that anyone could say to you. But I was like, oh yeah, like, oh right. That's so true. And then I did, and I had already been kind of working, but like that, I feel like that really made me think of it differently and made me like, oh, I don't have to actually, the only person that needs to enjoy this is me.
Mm.
And that's all I need. Hi. So Mia.
Your dog's name is Shark, right? He's
Yes.
a Staffy?
He is a mix, but he's like pit bull. He's got some
Oh
boxer.
my
He's a little cutie. I don't think he has Staffy in him. I don't know what the fuck he is.
Yeah, just a little a
But
little mutt.
he's
We love it.
pit bull and adjacent.
Was there a particular track that was that moment of surrender for you in the making process where you went, "You know what? This is for me. I'm having fun. I'm gonna do this and make what I wanna make and what I like."
Oh, I love that question. I love that question. I think like Bittersweet is one of those where that song is like honestly like a lot of it like Bittersweet, and I think the end of L'Amour is this little breakdown track called Over Now, and that was a big one. That was like me and Phineas just like messing around, making the kind of thing that we were like, no one's ever going to hear this. And Phineas said this recently, but like we kind of had this realization that like the bravest thing we could do is just put it out exactly how we made it and not try to make it better so that people, like it was just like, no, we are allowed to just make it how we want to make it and put it out because it has nothing to do with, what people are going to want. It's about like, do we enjoy this and do we like this?
Selfishly, I think one of my favorite songs is L'Amour, and the reason is because I'm a big fan of dance music, and you take us to the club on this record. And this is something that might surprise people, and it honestly feels like this sweaty dance floor sheen over some of these songs. Can you talk to
Hmm.
me about some of those club influences? It feels very 90s, very noughties. Where did this come from for you, either sonically or actual nights out partying? What's the club influence for you?
um honestly, I was at the gym all the time in this period. And I was doing a lot of cardio. And honestly, there weren't a lot of songs that were right for running and jumping rope that I liked enough that had the right BPM. And I found one that I loved so much. And I remember being like, wow, I wish there was some sort of way I could put this in a program and make a AI and make 800 versions, 800 songs that make me feel the way this song makes me feel. And I came to Phineas and I was like, we need to make a song. We need to make a song that I can run to and that I can jump to. And it's just like fun and like dancey and clubby. And there's like a lot of small moments on the album that are like that, which we didn't really mean to do, honestly. Like CHIHIRO is like that.
Hmm.
And honestly, we really didn't even mean to do that. It just like kind of came naturally. And I think like Phineas and I were learning how to like DJ at the same time and like going to different you know, like little parties and clubs and like I've been starting to go out into the world for the first time since I was young and just like biting the bullet and just going outside and like trying and just letting myself be and not and trying not to be anxious and terrified the entire time like I have been for years. So I think it was a mixture of all these things, you know?
What do you like to DJ?
Well, see, I Phineas got me a Serato DJ set when I was like 15 or so, and I just like that's all I did for weeks, and I got so good at it, and I was so with it, and I would like remix everything, and I would put everything into. I mean, I was doing it literally all day, every single day, and then I hadn't got back to it. And Phineas has a couple friends that DJ and are really great at it, and Phineas was going out a lot and like with his friends, and they were DJing, and he taught they taught him to do it, and I learned like here and there. I'm trying to like, I would love to be good at it. I don't know really what I'm doing, but I would love to really know what I'm doing.
Well, we should set a goal. 2025, when you're here in Australia, secret Billie Eilish underground DJ set somewhere in there.
Yeah, woo! I would love that.
That's the goal, a pop-up DJ set. I also wanted to talk about this record. I got to say, it's beautifully cinematic. At times, it feels like a score. It really does feel like world building as well. And I think Phineas's production is just incredible in that way too. What plays in
Mhm.
your mind visually at this point when you're listening to the record in full?
So interesting. A couple people have asked me similar questions and I don't really even know. I mean, I feel like I'm hearing the music in such a different way these days. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's because I've become a lot more involved in making music and enjoying it more and writing more and producing more. And it's like it feels more like mine than it ever has.
Mm.
And I think when I listen, I just hear and visualize like the music and the feeling of the music and what I would wanna feel in my body during that song, and then the visuals go from there, right? Like, I'm like, "I wanna feel this kind of sensation," and then I'm like, "Okay, well, what would that mean? Where am I? What would I be doing to feel that?" You know?
Mm.
But at the same time, I do have all these little video ideas for all the songs, and so when I listen to them, they kind of pop into my mind, but those really change depending on, like, what I'm doing and where I am. I came up with the video idea for CHIHIRO when I was walking through 30 Rock at SNL over the winter because I was listening in my headphones, in my earbuds to, um, it, and we were just, like, walking through kind of the back entrance of the building, and I was just, like I was just picturing stuff, and I came up with this whole kind of vibe of a music video from that experience. So I kind of you to me, like, I feel like I get inspired visually with music when I'm doing things while listening to
Mm.
music.
You talk about being more involved in kind of the process and production of this record. You comped your own vocals across this record, right?
Oh, yeah, girl.
What was that process like for you?
I mean, it's great. I've been doing that. I've been comping my vocals since, I think, like, before Happier Than Ever. So it's been 2 album cycles, but this one, I mean, I was more involved in this album than anything we've made. And I think that came from pure, like, enjoyment. Like, I wanted to. And I used to really not enjoy making music, and I still have trouble with it, but, you know, I forgot that, like, I started making music because I loved it, and
Mm.
then it became my, job so quickly when I was so young that I kind of didn't get to, like, enjoy it as much, and I think that I've come back to enjoying it, and that's been really nice, and comping vocals is, like, the greatest thing I've ever learned to do. Like, I'm never not grateful that I do that. There's nothing more annoying than having to be like, "Wait, can you play the next one? Hold on, go back a little bit. Hold on. Can you
Mm.
just cut this one? Okay, wait, now," it's the most annoying thing. And I engineer a lot of my own stuff that I know how, and then Phineas comes in and does the rest better than me. But like I do all my vocals and I, add my little synths and add this and that. And Phineas will be like, "All right, you do vocals for the next 6 hours. I'm gonna go eat a sandwich and hang out with my friends." And I'm like, "Okay," because it's a craft. It's like it's really my craft, singing and recording and, getting it right is a really big passion of mine that I put a lot of work and care and, effort into.
Yeah. I think this record is also a really good uh, measure of your voice as an instrument as well. When I was listening to it, I just thought, what? There was a particular track as well on it was actually CHIHIRO where I went, I've never heard her vocal like this. That's what I wrote when I did the listen through. There are some really beautiful vocal shifts. The way that you whisper between tracks, breath work as well. Is there a
Mhm.
particular vocal inflection or moment that you're kind of most proud of?
On the album?
Yeah.
Mm, I think L'Amour is like vocally the first half, not the ending part, but the first half is like vocally one of my favorites. I think that it really it's like, kind of the jazziest song on the album. And anytime I get to sing kind of in the realm of jazz, I am so happy. I really feel like I was kind of born to be a jazz singer and like a kind of almost like the wrong generation in a way.
Mm,
I love jazz so much and I love all the music from period of time. That period of time being a while ago. Like Frank Sinatra is my favorite in the world, and Johnny Mathis and Peggy Lee and Julie London and Etta James and, you know, Sarah Vaughan and Ella Fitzgerald. Like these are all people that I've looked up to for so long. And that kind of singing is what I always loved, and it's so funny because I grew up with people kind of talking about how soft voices and, delicate voices are like not as good as like big, loud powerhouses. And that's just not true. All voices are beautiful. There's different kinds. And I really like grew up thinking I was a bad singer because I didn't belt and because I didn't, use my voice like that. But when I think about it and I look back, like all of the singers that I adored had deeply precise, beautiful, delicate control over their voices, and that's what I always gravitated towards. And I think that L'Amour is like a really great vocal one. I think that I sound like when you listen to that compared to something from my first EP, Don't Smile at Me, like it's like a completely different person. It's
yeah.
amazing.
Well, Billy, we've got a wrap here. We are going to see you in 2025 here in Australia. It is a sold out tour across Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne. We cannot wait. We are so excited to see you.
Thanks so much. I will see you then.